What is your American dream?
My American dream is for everyone to walk around freely and comfortable and not being afraid to show who they are.
My American dream is to help my people from my community.
My American dream is for people to be aware of different cultures and traditions and to be respectful of each other, of all those differences, because America is actually built by immigrants. We are all immigrants in this country.
My American dream is to continue doing what I'm doing and educating people about who we are as Mexicans, what we have to contribute to this country, and we are part of this country. Let's not forget that.
My American dream is for everybody to know that I'm not a bad man, that I'm really capable to do a lot of stuff in the best way possible, always with love, with respect, and with that passion that is a characteristic of us Mexicans.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam!
Ooh, this is really good. This is gripping.
Oh my gosh.
What, Jill?
My phone bill, Sam. It's so expensive. It's close to $400.
Oh, well, I think you should just call the company. It's obviously been a mistake. Oh, I hear someone calling my name. I gotta go.
Wait a minute. Have you been calling Pimpa in Thailand?
No.
I know you've been calling Pimpa in Thailand because I saw it when you were playing with Brad's bullshit button.
Maybe I've been calling her.
Sam, this is some bullshit because you spent all this money calling Pimpa in Thailand. And what are you doing? If you're not even talking to her, what are you leaving the ridiculously long messages? She's going to think you're kind of insane. People take each other to small claims court for this kind of thing. Oh. And Sam, how did you even get my password?
I'm very squirrely sometimes.
No, that's called an invasion of privacy.
Well, Jill, I mean, if you want, I'm happy to give you some pretzels to pay for the bill.
That's very nice of you to say, but I can tell you right now, it would take a lot of pretzels to make up $400. So I'm sure I can work it out with the company. I'll just call them and explain to them that a marmot in the office used my phone to call his prairie dog crushed in Thailand, because that's a very normal type of phone call that people at phone companies get. It'll be fine. But in the meantime, and I understand you want to call your family and your friends and all that, but you can't be calling people internationally. So I have an idea to fix this situation.
Really?
Hold on one second. Look! I got you a groundhog-sized phone, Sam! It's kind of old school. It's a flip phone, but it's your size. It's perfect. It works.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me? A phone for me?
And now you can talk to everybody you want. It's only local calls. Okay? Awesome. Good job. Whee!
Wow, this is amazing, Brad Squad. I have my own phone. It's my size. It's in my name. Groundhog Sam has a phone. It's like every day I feel like I've arrived just a little bit more. Thanks, Jill. Anyway, did you guys miss yesterday's episode of Brad Show Live? Well, in case you did, Brad spoke to Essence Moore and her mother, Star Barrett. Essence is a teenage author who wrote the Middle School Chronicles, which is now mandatory reading in schools in New Jersey and Brooklyn, New York. Amazing. And let me tell you, they're really good. I'm on the second one. I'm halfway through 7th grade and I'm loving it. Go Essence! Maybe I could call her now and tell her how great her books are, that I'm enjoying them so much. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, now's the time you've all been waiting for. It's time for Brad Show Live, starring Brad Bernstein with co-host Belgium Kim and Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias. Enjoy and watch out, because now you might get a ring-a-ding-ding from me. Hee 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 hee. Ha 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 ha.
Welcome everybody and everyone. My name is Brad Bernstein. This is Brad Show Live. and it is today, Tuesday, May 7th, 2019. Belgium Kim, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, how are you doing today?
Great.
That's it.
I'm great.
Great.
I'm fantastic. Oh my God. Hold on.
wait.
Diana Moore. There we go.
Oh.
Brad.
Wait.
What?
You left.
I left my Starbucks.
What the hell are you thinking, man?
What is this, the Game of Thrones
What
here?
is this Game of Thrones?
We don't have a $2 million budget, you know?
No, we don't.
Right? We have no, it's Jill. Jill didn't tell me to remove my
Jill
coffee.
tells us, remove your coffee cup.
Right.
She
And by the
usually
way,
tells us every day.
every day, but she didn't do it. By the way, we're in 2019.
Yes.
Game of Thrones is Middle Ages. There was no Starbucks
Right.
back then. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, we're not endorsing Starbucks in any way, shape,
Right.
or form. Belgium Kim, Yo-Yo, how was your day today?
Fantastic. It was a beautiful day outside.
Yes.
So I'm getting light.
It was really nice today.
Started off a little chilly here in New York.
It did, but it got nice. I actually did an interview, which we'll see next week. So.
Well, I don't know what you mean by like it started off. Like my start off is at 7:30 in the morning. I'm outside. When are you outside? Like noon?
Yes.
Right. So by noon it was already warm.
So that's why I was like,
Right.
it was good.
What on God's green earth are you doing outside at 7:30, Brad?
It's called getting up for work, Kim.
Yeah, I'm not familiar
Yes.
with that,
I
Brad.
thought you were gonna say gym.
Meanwhile, I would say Jonathan.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually at the physical therapist, which you can count
okay.
as gym, but it's like fake gym because they don't really make you sweat
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it, you know.
No, not
Right, my knee. But Jonathan, I've noticed on your Instagram, you're posting in all strange hours of the evening on your stories.
Do I?
Yes.
Strange hours.
Strange hours.
Oh my
Like to me, is strange hours like after midnight. You should be sleeping.
Oh, no, I don't
No.
sleep till like 3.
3 in the morning.
Yeah.
3. Oof.
4.
Yeah, 3,
sometimes.
4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Sometimes stories from your bed.
Yes.
Yes.
3, 4.
3, 4 in the morning. I said,
Yeah.
where does this guy sleep? But now I realize you're up at 12.
Yes.
I understand now.
As a matter of fact, Barbara Laura just said, Jonathan, you leave me breathless.
Oh, whoa.
Breathless. Barbara Laura
my
is
goodness.
breathless, y'all.
Now,
Lord Barbara.
Lord, Barbara.
do you know Barbara Lord?
No.
You don't?
Do you know more?
I do know more about Barbara Lord.
Why do you know more about Barbara Lord?
I know more about Barbara Lord because she's in our spotlight today. Yeah. So you are leaving her breathless. Let me tell you a little bit about Barbara Lord, Jonathan.
There you go.
Maybe we can make a shidduch. A shidduch, you know what that is?
shidduch?
It's a connection.
Oh, okay.
A shidduch is a connection.
A shinach.
A shidduch. From the same language as schmoozing.
Oh, Lord. At least I can say shinach.
Shidduch.
Shinach.
I don't even know how did you MC bar mitzvahs?
For a
The
living.
only thing
You
I
did it
can
for a living,
say
yeah.
motzi, hora,
Yeah.
the challah.
Yeah, the challah. It's
The
challah.
challah.
Yeah,
that's the
right.
blessing in the
Say
bread.
challah. I'm challing over here for Kim. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about Barbara Lord.
Yeah.
There we go.
Jonathan.
Yes, let us
Barbara
know.
Lord, she found out about the Brad Show Live
Ooh.
through her cousin and fellow Brad Squad member, Stacey Ann Hodge.
Hey.
Shockingly, like many members of the squad, but not all, she is Jamaican.
Yes.
Yeah.
And most of her family still lives in Jamaica. She has one daughter. She is a very friendly woman.
Oh, look
And
at
she
that.
works as a caregiver. And she loves bowling.
Hey.
Yeah, she does.
She loves
Look at
bowling.
her.
I like bowling
Now,
too.
you would look at her, you know, she looks like somebody who would probably like, you know, go into the bowling alley, you know, and look like she doesn't know what she's doing. You know, and then somebody says, hey, I'll play you for $100.
And she'll
then
whoop
she
'em.
whoops their ass.
Yeah.
So that's how she makes now.
Nice.
That's how she makes a couple of extra bucks from suckering people at the bowl. No, she
Right.
doesn't do that.
The bowling hustle. It's well known.
bowling
It's a
hustle.
well known.
It was in a movie with
Kingpin.
Kingpin, exactly.
Kingpin,
Right,
yeah.
the bowling hustle. great movie, by the way.
It is.
Good that you knew that one.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. Well, let's say hello to the rest of the squad. So, by the way, let's look back at Barbara Lord's pictures a second. We always like to look back a second time.
Look at
there
Barbara
she
Lord.
is.
Go
there
ahead.
she is. Go, you go, girl. Yeah. Wow. Oh, that's with the whole family.
Oh.
We,
I love
we,
it.
We love us some Barbara Lord.
I love it.
Oh my God, that little baby. Look at her.
Yeah, cutesy,
oh my God.
Yeah. Or as Jonathan, I think how you should start calling her Lord Barbara.
Lord Barbara.
Lord Barbara.
Lord Barbara.
Right, it needs an accent. Lord Barbara.
Yes,
Lord
right.
Barbara.
Sounds like she was writing Game of Thrones there with the
Right.
Starbucks,
She was.
right?
She was.
Let's say hello to Jessica Leamy and Patrona Collins. Marjorie Thompson is joining us on Facebook. Willie L. Williams, we're sorry about yesterday. It was not our fault.
Yeah,
It was
no.
the fault of the gods.
Yes.
Right. The Facebook
Carol
gods.
Anderson, the Tiger, Patrona Collins, and by the way, for those who don't know, the fault of the gods was that we were not on Facebook. Couldn't seem to connect.
Yeah.
And so we eventually did YouTube, and then we sat around after and we tried to figure it all out.
Yes.
And then finally, Julian, the TriCaster guy, pulled out a plug and he says, "What does this do?"
Right.
And I said, "Plug it in. It's for the electricity." And he plugged it in.
Perfect.
And now we figured out what
Now
the
we're
problem
good.
was.
Right.
So Julian, the TriCaster guy, figured it out.
There was no
After
shut-off.
about 2 hours, he goes, "What does this plug do?"
When in doubt, always make sure it's plugged
In, exactly. Javo Finken, he's sharing all the way from Jamaica. And Barbara Lord saying hello. We said hello to her already. We even featured her. Cordella Douglas, how are you, my dear, my love? Haven't seen Cordella. Has she been around for a while or no?
She's been here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dawn Harriet, how are you? And who else we have here? Zane Supermom Gooden. Have we seen Zane Supermom Gooden?
We've seen that has been a hot second since we've seen Zane Supermom.
Maybe at least 2 or 3 episodes. Maybe more.
Yeah. Yes.
Lolitha Platt, how are you? Allie Boo Beecher. And, we like to call people out who don't join us every day.
We do.
Right?
We do.
And that's what happens, right? Deanna Moore says, "Hi, Kim." And Anna K. Moxham. Anna K. is our new comedian.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually true.
Yeah, she's very funny.
I have a question.
What?
Why is it Deanna and not Diana?
Why is it tomato and not tomato?
Why is it potato and not potato?
Exactly.
Because those are how we say those words.
Right. Why is it Long Island instead of Long Island? Like, it just depends on how I.
Good point, Brad.
How I say it, right?
Good point.
Brad, the place where you grew up is not Long Island, okay?
It's Long
Island. Right. That's how I pronounce it. The G's on the second.
Yeah.
The G's on the second word.
You mow your lawn and
then you go to the
island.
Exactly.
To the island.
Christy Gonzalez, how are you? And Peggy James. Peggy James.
Peggy James.
Peggy James, yes.
Peggy James.
We know Peggy?
Yeah.
Peggy James,
Do I know Peggy?
She's a member of the Marvelettes.
The Marvelettes?
I'm kidding, but she said Peggy James sounds like she would be in.
Do we know Peggy?
I don't think I know Peggy. Do I know Peggy?
I don't know if I know Peggy.
Peggy.
But I like Peggy.
Well,
like
now
Peggy.
you're going to get to
Name,
know her.
Peggy.
Yeah, there you go.
Is it a cute name?
I like that name.
Right? Peggy.
Peggy.
It's a cute name.
Peggy. I like that.
You don't hear Peggy that much anymore.
No.
It's an old-fashioned name, but maybe it's coming back. It's cute.
That's why I'm like, please, Mr. Postman.
Yeah, Peggy, that's cute. Well, welcome, Peggy. I don't know if I've ever said hello to you before, so welcome. And that's why I said, do we know? I mean, you may have been watching for a while or maybe even making comments. I just don't recall ever saying hello to Peggy.
That's
before.
true.
So welcome, Peggy.
We will know now.
And Jessica Leamy. I know there are 3 different time zones, Eastern Standard Time, Pacific Standard Time, and now there is Brad Bernstein Standard Time.
Oh, wow.
That is correct. And the Brad Bernstein Standard Time kind of changes from day to day.
It does.
It's a moving target, Brad Bernstein Standard Time.
It is.
Right?
There's a lot of factors that determine what Brad Bernstein Standard Time is on any given day.
That is very true.
So, yeah.
And Lee Dean saying hi, squad. That's also somebody new, Lee Dean. I don't know. Reginald D'Amato, we know Reginald for sure. Mia Montauk, we know Mia. So Lee Dean, welcome. Princess Dyer, how are you? And Sylvia Cetro, also new.
Sylvia.
Sylvia Cetro says,
Hello.
hi, everybody. And she even gave an emoji hello.
Man.
Wow.
Yes, I love Ron Adams popping in with a question. Ron, I will answer all your questions in about 45 minutes, so to speak, on Brad's Standard Time. Fearless Michelle. She said, it was devastating for me. I couldn't sleep without chilling with my family yesterday. Aw, I'm sorry. It was terrible. But you could always join us on YouTube. But some people are so dedicated to the family on Facebook, they can't go over to YouTube and vice versa. There's YouTubers who will never go back over to Facebook.
Yeah, I do wonder though, like some of the Brad Squatters on Facebook that didn't watch the show yesterday, did you guys get the notifications saying that we were on YouTube?
That's
because
true.
If you didn't, that means you probably didn't like the page and press that notification button.
Oh my God! I think we have a new sex symbol here, Belgium Kim, and it ain't me and it ain't you.
I am with that.
But First Lady Hewitt saying, I was drooling over Yo-Yo yesterday.
And then
I think we've got a new sex symbol coming.
And then we got Barbara Lord who followed it up with, please tell Yo-Yo to change his shirt. I need to concentrate. Damn, you're thirsty today, my ladies.
Wow.
I like it. Okay,
wow.
okay.
You know what? You know what? It's springtime.
It's spring.
Everybody's they're all coming out.
Yeah.
You know, they're
feeling good.
They're feeling good. The weather's good.
Feeling good.
That's
yeah.
right.
The sun is hitting the skin. We're glistening.
Listen,
Glistening, Yo-Yo.
We're glistening.
Glistening.
Don't
Don't get anybody more excited about glistening skin, Yo-Yo. They're excited enough
Jesus.
looking at you in that shirt.
Yeah. Crazy.
I just cannot, y'all. Have some decorum.
Yeah,
That's not true.
jeez.
That's not true. We talk about how gorgeous the Brad Squad is all day long.
Right.
You guys
That's
can
right.
objectify
Y'all
him
are.
all you want.
And on Facebook, Marcine Frazier, how are you? Terry Ann Carby, Carol, the Top Cat, Tigers 2, Anderson. We say hello to her on both feet. She watches on both. Simone Garraway, how are you? Carol Barrett Thal says hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. And Mutar Durrami. Wow. Mutar Durrami with I'm pulling comment of the day ahead of time. I'm sorry.
Over and over
Yes,
again.
but Mutar Daravi saying this immigration mad encyclopedia lawyer guy is just trustworthily sharp. I have to, got to give the compliments out as I see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you could have a segment where you have already planned all the compliments to
Was that one of
put
them?
them just like the last 3 comments Brad has read have already been flagged as comments.
You know,
of the day.
Belgium Kim, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Why don't we flag all the nice compliments?
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it at the end of the show.
Oh my God, Brad, that's genius. I bet we could call it comments of the day or
That would
something
be
like
amazing.
that. That's genius.
You are a media genius, Belgium Kim,
Wow.
a media genius.
Gosh.
Anita Martinez, how are you? Loretta Brown says, hi, Brad Squad, what's up? Rachel Veranda says, thank you, Brad. I received my green card for 10 years with my VAWA case. I don't know if I handled her case or not, but if I did, congratulations, and you're welcome. And if I didn't, just congratulations. I'm glad you finally got your green card. Ja Love says, hello, everybody. Anita Martinez has a question. We'll get to that in a little bit. Lolita Brown also has a question on YouTube. D-Bean.
D-Bean.
We've got Lee Dean and D Bean.
Says, hello, Brad Squad, those of you behind the scene that makes this great and informative show possible.
D-Bean.
I have a lot of people I'm saying hello to. We're spending like 20 minutes saying hello.
Literally,
we can do an entire show saying hello
What's
to
up
people.
to the rest of everybody?
Yes.
And all.
Yes. Copper Clan, Kai Kai, Donald Horton. I got to get through this. So I apologize. Georgia Green saying hello as well. Tommy M. And everybody else who I missed. Tomorrow we'll start with YouTubers.
Okay.
Okay,
There
because
we
we can sit here all day saying hello to people.
We
right?
sure could.
All right, we have one last thing to do, sadly enough, before we get into our schmooze.
Yeah.
Which is the Brad Challenge.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my God.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lordy Lord.
You got to get some good
You got
news
news?
for us?
Yeah.
Oh, Lordy Lord.
You have some good news?
Jilly had me out on a adventure.
There was not a buffet, not a dinner.
It was not a
dinner, you
buffet.
guys.
It was a free meal now.
Oh, no.
All right. Jilly had me out at a free meal at a Jamaican restaurant.
Oh, man.
And yeah, still the same. She had me out 176. I can't make this stuff up. Yes, I can't make it up. That damn picture. I can't make this stuff up. So Jilly goes, Brad, I want you to come to this shoot. All right, and it's going to be at this Jamaican restaurant up on Harlem, 125th Street.
Right.
Okay, so I said, okay, great. And then all of a sudden, the owner, who is a great guy,
Right.
And we'll show. I think in a couple weeks we'll show. By the time it gets edited and everything.
Right.
But who's a great guy. He starts bringing out food left and right. Okay, he starts bringing out the jerk chicken. All right, the reggae chicken wings. Ooh. All right, the plantains. Ooh. Come on. And I'm saying, listen, man, I'm on a diet. He says,
oh, please.
He says, there ain't no diet here.
Right.
All right, you go enjoy my cuisine. And it was really good. So I said every day I come up with a new excuse, but now it's like free food being stuck in front of me.
So again, a dinner you gotta pay for, no bueno. A buffet, no bueno. Free food, no bueno. It's a tough life, Brad. How are you supposed to lose any weight on this?
I have no idea. The only one apparently losing weight as part of the Brad Challenge is Grandma.
Right.
Grandma has been losing weight, and but I'll get there. In fits and starts, I will eventually get there.
You and Jessica Leamy are the same. She said her weight is stagnant. She's neither losing nor gaining.
Yeah, me and Jessica Leamy. Was she at the buffet one night and the free
free meal
the next night? All right, I think Yo-Yo, Elias, Belgium Kim. Why don't you tell everybody to please share? Let them know what they need to do so we can help as many people as we can.
Yes.
As I get ready for a little schmoozing.
Absolutely. All right, everybody on Facebook, we're here today. Yesterday we weren't, so today let's go extra hard with sharing. Let's make sure you guys share to people's pages, groups that you think that might benefit from this, but most importantly, let's all share in an inbox. So you guys can make a whole group in an inbox in your instant messenger for Facebook, and you can share the link right there. Easy, all right? And we also want you guys to interact. We want to hear everything you guys have to say. So like, love, sad face, wow face, mad face, whatever you're feeling, make sure you show us in the comments as well. So interact. Let us know what you guys are thinking. We're going to schmooze soon. So I want to know what you guys have to think about all of the things, because we like interactive comments. We have some stories that we're definitely going to want to hear what you guys have to think about it. And also, you guys could do watch parties. So we're starting this new thing where you start a watch party. All you have to do is click that share button and go down a couple of the different what are they, like different options. There you go, different options, and it says start a watch party, and that's an easy way to send out a big ding to all of your friends, and you guys can watch it together and also comment in your own section. But like I said, always come back to the Brad Squad and comment there. So what are we gonna do on YouTube?
Well, I took the time that Jonathan spent talking to start my very own watch party. See how fast that was, family?
So fast.
On YouTube, we need you guys to hit that share button, and we need you to copy that link. And then you go paste crazy, fam. We want you to paste that link in WhatsApp messages, in Twitter, as a Twitter post, as an Instagram bio. Send it to everyone, whether it's a text message or a WhatsApp message or a social media message of any kind. Make sure to let people know where they can watch the show, and make sure that when they do, they don't forget to subscribe and follow, because we are on Brad Show Live Standard Time, you don't always know exactly when we're gonna come up. So make sure that you've hit that little bell so you get that notification every single time we go live. Tell us your thoughts and feelings in the comments, fam, because you're gonna have a lot of them, especially today when we are schmoozing with Brad.
There you go, schmoozing with Brad. You got it grammatically correct today, Belgian Kim. We like it.
2 weeks.
So, Jonathan,
Yes.
Belgium Kim, the new report is out. One of the biggest reports of the year. Okay, America's cleanest and dirtiest cities.
Okay.
Oh,
all right, and we're not talking about garbage on the street. We're talking about the hygiene of the people who live there. All right, this is what the hygiene. The world's smelliest people, or the country's smelliest people, and the country's cleanest people.
Okay.
And it is out.
Okay.
Okay, it is out. Jonathan, without looking, because they're already blowing it for me here.
We're showing it.
All right, we're already showing it. Stop showing it. I didn't even get to it yet. There you go.
I don't know which ones are the clean ones.
What would you think? What city? Give me. They list the 5 most hygienic cities and the 5 cities with the smelliest people. And how they determined this is they studied on how many times people shower or bathe in a day, brush their teeth in a day, change their bed sheets per week, change their shirts and underwear per day, clean their homes per week, and wash their hands after using the toilet. That was the criteria. Now, you knowing this criteria and being a world traveler that you are, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, what would you say? Can you name at least one of the 5 cleanest hygienic cities in the United States of America?
One of the 5.
Yes.
Most hygienic?
Most hygienic.
Okay.
I would say maybe Oregon.
Oregon is a state, Jonathan.
Oh, you want just a city?
Cities.
A city.
So, Portland. Or no, I'll say Salem.
Salem, Massachusetts, where they had the witch trials?
Oregon. No,
in
Salem,
Oregon.
Oregon.
Nope, not on there.
No.
No. Yep. Nope, they don't have, they're not, maybe they're hygienic, but they're not in the top 5.
What would LA be?
Nope, LA is not. They're pretty smelly over there in LA. They're not in the top 5.
This is not true because I'm from LA.
All right. So the cities, the 5 filthiest cities.
The filthiest.
We'll start with the filthiest. The people where they smell the most. They do less hand washing, less teeth brushing, less changing their bed sheets, less changing their underwear.
I would say Mobile, Alabama.
No, that's such a bad. All right. So the filthiest. Okay. In order. All right. The fifth filthiest is Seattle, Washington.
Filthiest?
Yes.
The filthiest city.
Yeah,
is
we're talking
Seattle?
about hygiene. Followed by Denver, Washington, D.C., San Francisco, and where the people are the dirtiest, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Yes. Now, the people with the cleanest, the 5 cleanest cities.
Right.
Okay, in order going backwards from 5 to 1. New York is the 5th cleanest city. That's right.
That's surprising.
That's right.
I'm surprised.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, LA isn't too bad.
Detroit,
that's number 7.
Detroit, Charlotte, New Orleans, and the cleanest city in the United States of America is Miami.
That makes
Florida.
sense.
Miami?
Yes,
Miami is
Florida.
full of like real pretty people, so maybe that's why.
True. That's true.
Yeah. So
I get
now
that.
Los Angeles residents,
New
they're
Orleans.
the worst.
For what?
Who?
They're at the worst for washing their bed sheets on a regular
Who
basis.
is?
Los
LA?
Angeles. Yes. 98% of New Orleans changes their underwear every day. And New Yorkers brush their teeth the least, but wash their bed sheets the most.
Oh.
Which makes complete sense because everybody smells well until they're close talking to you here in New York. I'm making that up.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Finally, Charlotte is the most likely place to wash their hands after using the toilet, while only 1 out of 4 people in Washington, D.C. wash their hands after using the toilet, which goes to show why, ever since it's become a Republican city.
Right.
I wouldn't want to go there and start shaking hands on Capitol Hill, knowing only 1 out of 4 are washing their hands.
Wash their hands.
Yeah,
oh
that's
God.
gross.
That's pretty bad.
Really gross.
Yeah. Meanwhile, ICE has announced, this is some sad news, ICE has announced, not sad news, it's really troubling news more than anything. ICE has announced a program to allow local law enforcement to use ICE warrants to arrest immigrants. Now, even though local law enforcement has a right to arrest an immigrant with an ICE warrant, they still don't have the right to walk into your home, to pull you out of a car, or to go to your job to arrest you with a warrant unless you allow them into your home or you step out of the car.
Right.
So even though, remember we had that interview several weeks ago where we talked about what they can and can't do with an ICE warrant. Just because local law enforcement can now arrest somebody on an ICE warrant doesn't mean that they have to follow any different rules than ICE officers. And by the way, this program, they're announcing it now, and to make everybody look tough.
Right.
They were doing this since George W.
It's really troubling.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the White House, Democrats are trying to get the president's tax returns. They're trying to get Donald McGahn, who is the White House attorney during the Mueller investigation, to come testify.
Right.
They are trying to get Mueller to come testify.
Right.
And Donald Trump is tweeting up a storm that he is refusing to allow anybody to come testify before the Democrats. Now Nancy Pelosi, she's got it right.
Right.
Okay, she gave a speech today that says every time Donald Trump tweets this, he's obstructing justice.
Of course.
Okay, every time he says, Donald McGahn can't come testify, that's obstruction of justice.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, over 100 former high-level attorneys at the Department of Justice, both under Bush and Obama, signed an open letter to Congress that, based on the Mueller report, any other human being other than the president would have been arrested, indicted, charged, and tried for obstruction of justice.
Right.
Just because he was the president, he didn't do it. Now, Nancy Pelosi's got it right. This is a political thing.
Right.
This is not about crimes when you are the president of the United States. It's about politics. And she knows what Donald Trump is trying to do. Donald Trump is trying to goad the Democrats into impeaching him.
Yes.
He wants it.
Right.
Why? Because it's going to fire up his base
Absolutely.
for the 2020 election.
Absolutely.
It'll get people inflamed on the other side to come out to vote.
Yep.
And he needs people to come out to vote for him.
Right.
So he is absolutely trying to goad the Democrats into doing it. And the Democrats know that if they do it, they're just going to inflame the Republican base and get more Republicans to come out and vote.
Absolutely.
And perhaps if they're not so inflamed, maybe it's bad weather, they won't go out to vote.
Right.
So hopefully they do not get goaded into that. We talked about the Met Gala a little bit.
Oh,
Hey.
yes. Now
It
we're
was
talking.
it was more over the top than any year that I remember in the past. It was $30,000 a head. It has a rich history of attracting
crazy.
risque outfits, and the funds go to help support the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which is the big museum up on 5th Avenue and 88th Street. If you ever walk through, they have the Egyptian exhibit. They have, floors and floors. It's not the Louvre, but it is the Louvre of the United States of America.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. And Lady Gaga was one of the MCs. She wore not one, but 4 different outfits, peeling off each layer. She walked the iconic pink carpet. But the most campy, I had to actually look up what campy was.
So what was campy?
Campy means just over the top, outrageous,
Yeah, it's
almost
kitschy.
kitschy, almost making fun of costumes. You're actually making fun of it.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
You're so over the top
that you're
ridiculous.
making
Yeah.
fun of what you're wearing.
Yes.
So actor Billy Porter.
Oh.
He won the award. He came in with 6 men holding him up.
Yes.
6 topless men, decked out all in gold, carried on a chaise by 6 shirtless men.
Yes.
And he made waves by pulling out his golden wings. What was Billy Porter in? What is he
He's
famous
in
for?
Pose.
What?
Pose. It's a show of like voguing, like the old school New
Ball
York.
culture.
ball.
Okay, yeah, I don't know
And
who
also
I don't
he's
know who he was.
He's
He
in
also-
American Horror Story.
He's an American
now,
Horror
too.
Story. He's a big Broadway star. That's how he got his
Oh, I
start.
see.
He premiered the role of Lola in Kinky Boots.
I got it.
Yeah.
So now Cardi B, not to be outdone,
Oh my
Go
goodness.
ahead, Cardi.
she showed up in a dramatic burgundy gown
Look at that.
extended into a full quilted circular
Sheesh.
Yeah,
train,
it is.
and it was trimmed with feathers. It was designed by Tom Brown and took more than 2,000 hours to make.
That's
Sheesh.
right.
Yes.
That was gorgeous.
You like that one?
Yeah.
Party.
What about Celine Dion? Came in at 22
Yeah,
pounds.
Like that's
Gold. Was that your favorite?
Oh, I-
Gold
She loves
Oscar
Celine.
de la Renta dress took over 52 master embroiderers to make. Did you like that one?
Sheesh.
I'm
Look at that.
a Celine stan. Like,
Look at
I
that.
love Celine
She
so
looks great.
hard.
Yeah, and Katy Perry, did you see her? She went out all this year.
Yes.
She went all out this year, attending as a life-size chandelier with
Yes.
electric candles and all.
She was lit.
She was lit, right? Yeah, she was.
She was lit.
She was
Yes,
fairly
she was.
turned up.
Yeah.
We're done.
And some of the disappointments from the
please.
internet was Kim Kardashian.
Yes.
She was a disappointment. She looked like she got caught in the rain.
Yeah,
And also another disappointment, according to the internet.
If you say
What?
Serena.
Williams.
God, listen.
What is this?
She was one of the hosts for this year.
Yes.
And she came looking like that.
Yes, we don't know what she looked like.
And then she got sneakers on.
She looked like she looked, like you would take out a tennis ball and like cut it in half and roll it out.
Yes.
She looked like a hollowed out tennis ball, right?
God, it's horrible.
I don't understand the lime green sneaker with the canary yellow dress.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be fashion police here, but what were you thinking,
You're
girl?
the host. You were one of, for her to be one of the hosts for this year, that right there is amazing, and that's such a big title to have. I mean, you see how Gaga was as one of the hosts.
Yes.
And then you see how Serena was.
Yeah. Meanwhile, did you see Zendaya? She had a fairy tale entrance.
Cinderella. That was awesome.
Zendaya,
She
look
wore
at
a
her.
black Tommy Hilfiger gown, was walking up the stairs with her stylist, and she waved a wand and transformed her dress into a glowing version
was dope.
reminiscent of the iconic Cinderella.
That was amazing.
Was that amazing?
Yeah, because the dress actually like poofed up and lit up like, as
Wow.
he did the little wand thing.
And Janelle Monáe.
Oh.
Did you like her?
Yes.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, look at you. You're getting all excited
Yeah.
there. Amelia.
We were really going
She
hard.
had the balloon-hyped gown with a motorized blinking eye over one breast. Let me see that one. I didn't see her.
The eye was actually blinking
on her nipple.
breast.
On her
my
nipple. Let me
God.
see. We have a picture of that? Or no? We don't have a picture.
Oh
We do?
man,
No. We have a picture, but apparently.
Oh man,
but apparently,
y'all gotta look that up.
Yeah, apparently Julian is drooling over it and doesn't want to share it
he
with
doesn't want to
anybody
share
else.
that. I wouldn't want to
right.
either.
So it's also some sad news that a new study released by the Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services,
Okay.
which was established by the United Nations Environment Program. So this is right straight from the United Nations. Says that over 1 million animals and plant species are now threatened with extinction in the near term.
God.
Yes. The panel, which was put together, there was a panel of experts from around the world, and they collected data from over the past 5 decades from roughly 15,000 scientific and government studies, and it's painting a very ominous picture. The health of the Earth's ecosystem, on which we and all species depend, is deteriorating more rapidly than ever. We are eroding the very foundations of our economies, our livelihoods, our food security, our health, and our quality of life.
Yes.
This is like the way that I saw a synopsis of this report, and it made it out like we were going to be living like Mad Max,
Right.
or like Kevin Costner in Waterworld. I'm not
That's
sure.
exactly what it feels
I'm not
like.
sure what was that movie when the guy had to go through with Matthew McConaughey, went through the time warp, and he came back and he was 200 years older, and the whole Earth was like a dust bowl.
Oh man.
You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm like picturing also.
Sheesh.
Oh my God, I can't.
So the report says that at least 25% of mammals, more than 40% of amphibians who live in the sea, and nearly 33% of sharks and 25% of plant groups are threatened with extinction within decades. The primary threats: expanding urban areas, devoting more land to agriculture, as well as pollution, poaching, overfishing, and most importantly, climate change. Chief among the proposed solutions is reducing greenhouse gases, which is the main driver of human-caused climate change. Well, it's like we talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
What else we got here? This is going to be an issue for us. We got to be very careful when we're doing the speed round for
Okay.
the Guinness Book of World Records, because there was a nurse. She was in England, and she was trying to break the Guinness Book of World Records for running a marathon dressed as a nurse.
Right.
And she was successful. But just like in the Kentucky Derby where they knocked the winner out,
Right.
the stewards at the Guinness Book of World Records said it does not count because she did not run as a nurse in a skirt, which was very sexist. She ran wearing operating scrubs. So she should have run as an old-fashioned nurse in a skirt, and instead she ran in her scrubs, and they said as a result, that is not the definition of a nurse's costume. For the Guinness Book of World Records, that is the definition of a doctor's costume for the Guinness Book of World Records. And she did not beat the record for fastest doctor. She only beat the record for fastest nurse had she been dressed as a nurse.
But what about the male nurses? They don't wear skirts.
I don't know. I'm not part of this. I'm
But
reading the news as I see it here. What just fell? So she would have claimed the record had her costume been accepted. Her time was 3 hours, 8 minutes, and 22 seconds. She previously beat the other fastest nurse by 32 seconds.
So that other nurse wore a skirt.
Yes.
Oh,
so,
my God.
Yeah.
That's the most
Guinness Book.
preposterous thing I've ever heard.
You're
Can
whack.
I don't want to compete for a Guinness World Record anymore.
Right,
Can we
I don't
create
wanna say
our
their
own
names anymore.
World Record company? Because that is some sexist, ridiculous nonsense.
That's trifling.
I have not been cared for by a nurse in a skirt ever in my life, and I am almost 30 years old. Get your act together.
I agree.
Sorry, that really.
I just don't want to badmouth the Guinness Book of World Records too bad because I want to be in it.
Well, I'm bad mouthing. You guys need to get your act together, or we won't grace your pages with our faces.
She's speaking for Brad. Look at you. Look at Brad. Brad is like, hold on.
Kim,
Fine.
Kim,
Belgium Kim.
Belgium Kim.
Jesus.
Let's be
Ixnay on the Guinness Book of World Records. Keep it down.
let's be mad on our own time.
Yeah.
Off the air.
Thank you. Yes, Wendy Gibson. I'm insulted as that's my profession. And Wendy
Right.
Gibson, will you tell us in the comments whether or not you wear a skirt to work or not? I have a feeling it's a hard no.
Right. Hard.
And finally, in Greenland, they now have the world's most remote hotel on Earth. It's in the town called, it just opened, it's called in the town called Itoko Tormit. It's positioned on the edge of the frozen sea in Greenland. What?
I'm so sorry. I have to correct myself.
What?
Did you see how hard she went?
I went
just
so
now about
hard.
that skirt?
I went so hard.
And said, Wendy, I know your ass don't even wear a skirt at work.
Wendy Gibson, Kim.
Yes.
I wear skirts, old fashioned.
Well, damn.
Damn. Wendy. Well, I'm sorry. You can run the marathon in whatever uniform you choose to, whether that be a skirt or scrubs. And you're
Kim.
still a nurse, Wendy.
Kim!
I can't.
Kim!
She wears.
Kim!
I can't.
Kim!
Yeah.
Ixnay on the Guinness Book of World Records. Ixnay!
I wear scrubs pants. Thank you.
Ixnay! We want to be in it. And Wendy Gibson wears skirts. So meanwhile, it just came out. The world's most remote hotel on Earth is in Greenland, in Itoko Tormit. It's on the coastline, positioned on the edge of the frozen sea. It's the only inhabited piece of land on the beautiful coastline south of Greenland National Park. Three quarters of Greenland's 50,007 citizens live in Nuuk, the capital, but just 450 people lie in the town next to it, nearly 500 miles away. Now to get there, okay, it's only $90 a night, Jonathan. Here's the hotel.
Oh my God,
That's
that's so cute.
Okay,
I would
now,
love
right.
that.
However, it's only $90 a night, but probably costs you $1,000 to get there because you have to fly to Iceland, then fly to Greenland, and then take a 15-minute helicopter ride just to get to this tiny town. I don't know how much a helicopter would cost, but you got to figure all those three together at least over $1,000.
Right, 100% just to get there.
To be in the world's most remote Nah, I think I'll skip it.
I don't know. I feel like it would be really nice to unplug. You know what I mean? But the lack of restaurants on the island is an issue. If I'm going on vacation, I want a nice little restaurant situation.
Unless it's going to be like a situation like First Lady Hewitt once with Yo-Yo. Like First Lady Hewitt is like, I'll wear a skirt if Yo-Yo is my patient. Like maybe First Lady Hewitt and Yo-Yo would go to this remote, and they would have lots to do there.
They would have a lot of fun.
They would have a lot of fun there, right?
Like you rent.
Maybe.
Brad Squad, I got some water in my mug here for all of you thirsty today.
This is not even hump day, Jonathan.
It's not even
Jonathan, you better
in preparation.
Jonathan, you better wear several layers for hump day because you're gonna be like you're gonna be visually undressed for the entire time.
My goodness me.
All right, everybody, we got to get to some immigration questions right now. So, Yo-Yo and Belgium Kim, why don't you tell everybody to please share while I get ready to answer your immigration questions.
All right, family, you know the drill, but just in case you don't, we gonna remind you. On Facebook, you have a couple of options. The first thing we want you to do is make sure that you have liked and followed our page, because if you haven't, you're not gonna get that little notification every single time we go live on Brad Show Live Time. Second, make sure that you share the show once you've liked and followed us. Share it as a private messages, in group messages that you're a part of, single, solo messages. Slide up on your old high school crushes DMs and let them know that you're watching this.
Yes.
And that's how we strike up the conversation. I got you, fam. Make sure that you have interacted with us in the comments. So when you share the show into your high school crushes DMs, you're gonna tell us all about it in the comments and say, I just shared the show to this many people. So tell us everything you're thinking and feeling. Make sure to share. Make sure to start a watch party so that every single person gets a notification. And on YouTube, if that's where you're watching, this is what you gonna do.
On YouTube, you guys are also gonna share, okay? We have been going crazy with sharing and getting our subscriber counts up on YouTube, and that's all literally because of you guys. So all you have to do to share on YouTube, copy the link. Send that straight to your social media, but most importantly, we want you guys to share it in a WhatsApp group. So everybody has WhatsApp. I know y'all have WhatsApp. Y'all got families that y'all talk to internationally. So that's the best way to communicate with them. So what you guys are gonna do is you're gonna create a group of people that you think might benefit from the show or might just enjoy it or might know other people that they can add into the group as well, and copy the link and send it there. Be like, hey guys, join the Brad Squad, all right? We want you guys to come in, and YouTube, I want y'all to show out because y'all have been doing so well with that. And also with interaction, we love what you guys have to say, you know, talking about the Met Ball or the Met Gala, talking about anything we were schmoozing with, but most importantly, we want to get your social media questions through. So you guys can send any of your questions in the comments section as well. So now everybody who's watching on YouTube, we want you guys to subscribe, and press that little bell you see right there. Ding. You press that, you're gonna get a notification. And now, I want everybody to press that thumbs up. Right now. I just pressed it, all right? So now you guys do it. All right, and next, we are gonna go to the next segment where you guys call in and Brad will answer your questions with getting answers to your immigration questions.
You got it right. Very good. Very good. Very good. All right, and Melissa's been waiting 50 minutes for her question. Woo. So I got to give her at least 45 seconds of my time, right? How are you, Melissa?
I'm great, Brad. How are you doing?
Good. You waited a long time. I hope I can help.
Yes. I have my husband that we sent our cases in December 2017. It was the I-130. They have approved it.
Right.
And we sent the I-145 and the 765 1 year later on last year, September 2018. And he went for his fingerprinted in October. And we have been waiting for a long time until this morning that we received a notice that said he was denied for both of the cases.
Why was he denied?
They did not tell us what was the reason.
I don't know either then. But most likely is maybe they scheduled for an interview and you missed it, or you were asked for a document and you didn't submit it. One or the other.
No, we did not receive anything. I did call them several times to ask them if, because we did not send the before the affidavit of support with the application.
Okay.
So I called them more than 5 times, and I always ask the officer, will it be a problem for the case or will it be delaying? And they said, no, it won't be a problem, but it's totally okay to send it because I spoke to somebody 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so two things. Okay. Number one, when you speak to an immigration officer, when you call, you're really not speaking to anybody with authority. They're an outside company that's hired by immigration to answer the phones. They shouldn't be giving you advice. Number two, you should never be submitting documents to immigration unless it's in response to a letter that you receive from immigration, because they will never get to your file. Number three, it sounds like your husband got some sort of interview and didn't show up, or it got lost in the mail. Now you have two options. You can make a motion to reopen, or you can refile again. And I'm going to suggest to you to refile again for the simple reason that right now, when you file an adjustment, they're doing LIFO, last in, first out. So you're literally going to be scheduled for an interview within a few months versus people who were waiting from over a year like yourself or 2 years ago. To make a motion to reopen, no one's going to look at this motion to reopen for at least 2 years. And you're just going to sit there very frustrated. So my advice is, come see me. Let me make sure it's done right. We're going to file an adjustment. And by the end of the year, if all goes well, your husband will have a green card. And it'll be a permanent green card because you've been married for more than 2 years. So hold on one second, okay?
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. Let's go to John in Tampa. John.
Hey, how you doing, Brad?
How are you?
Not too good, man.
What's going on?
I called the other day. I had a question about a RFE. I got a pretty tough situation. Me and my wife, we went to the interview on April the 15th, and everything was good except for he told us he couldn't, when he put in my I-94 number, he couldn't find the entry.
Well, do you
now,
have a passport?
I-130 was approved.
Do you have a passport with an entry in it or anything like that?
So I came in 1990 with my brothers on my mom's passport. So our picture is on her passport.
Okay.
But we do have an I-94, and that's all we have. And her passport with the stamp on there and everything.
And
now,
he says he can't find it?
He said he couldn't find it.
Even though you presented it to him?
Yeah, I presented him to him. The only problem was the I-94. When we came here, that the lady misspelled my name a little bit and wrote over with black marker.
Right.
But the number is on there, my name is on there, and everything is on there. And I showed him the picture of the passport, my three brothers' picture, my mom's picture, and everything on there with the stamp and everything,
wow.
the date that we entered and everything. But he sent. I just got an RFP yesterday saying that he needs more documents to prove that I came in legally.
You know what? I wish I had the bullshit button, because that's bullshit. You just submitted everything to show you came legally.
Right.
You know, perhaps you're going to need a good lawyer like myself. So hold on one second, okay? I want to see the document that you have there, okay? Because this immigration officer is either not looking properly, doesn't know the law. I got to see what you're submitting first, and then we'll figure out. So hold on one second, okay?
Yeah, but one last question.
Yeah.
If they for some reason deny me, I do have DACA status currently. Will I get a notice to appear?
No, because you'll be back in DACA status. You fall back to the status you were before you filed the adjustment.
And one more. I'm sorry. One more. I called the CBP. I called the New York airport where we entered in 1990. I tried everything. They couldn't even find the number.
All right.
I don't know if it's because it's so old.
I don't know either, but let's see what you have first, and then we'll take it from there. So hold on one second, okay?
Okay. All right.
Let's go to Linda in Miami. Linda.
Hi.
Hi.
My question to you is that I'm calling. What I would like to know is that when entered this country illegally,
right,
and been here for over 20 years, and my dad is a U.S. citizen, I would like to know if you can file for me.
What do you mean by the word illegally? That's a loaded word. Tell me what you mean by Tell me what you mean by you entered illegally. What does that mean?
Like, I didn't illegally.
Okay, you ran across the border?
Right.
From Mexico? You ran across the border from Mexico?
Yes,
okay.
If that's what you call it.
Okay, fine. And where are you originally from?
Haiti.
Haiti. And your dad's a citizen?
Yes.
How did he get his green card?
My dad?
Yes.
Yeah,
I know he's a citizen now, but I assume he was not born in America, right?
No, he was not.
Okay.
He got his green card when Clinton passed the bill. He became qualified.
And what did he do? Somebody sponsored him in a job?
I'll put it in there.
Did somebody sponsor
What's
him?
that?
Did somebody sponsor him in a job?
Oh no, I'm not sure what he did, but he did get a green card and he became a U.S. citizen.
Did he get married?
No, he didn't marry to nobody. He qualified for a green card. That was years ago, and he became a U.S. citizen. He brought some of his children from Haiti to here, and then the only reason that I'm not qualified is because instead of wait for him to bring me, I cross before I get the call.
Okay. All right. One way or the other, your dad's files for you. Eventually you'll get a green card, either through.
No, he didn't file for me. What I'm saying is that I'm here as his daughter, and he's a U.S. citizen. I want to know if he can file for me.
He can. And I was trying to figure out, and it will take years, and I was trying to figure out at the end of the case.
Yes, they were saying that it'll take like 10 years.
I don't know, about 10 years, about 6-7 years right now. But ultimately, I'm not sure at the end of the case whether you're going to be able to get your green card here. You have to go back to Haiti and come back. I'm not sure. Do you have TPS? I assume you've been here for a while, right?
Yes, I do.
Right.
And I also travel back and forth from Haiti.
Okay. And you're single? You're married?
Married.
Okay. And what is your husband's status?
Well, it's the same as mine.
Okay. Yeah. So now if he's going to file for married couple, it's going to take maybe 15 years. What do you do for a living?
I work as a CNA.
And what does your husband do for a living?
A security guard.
Do you think either one of your employers would sponsor you in a job? It would take about 18 months instead of 10 plus years.
They can do that too? I didn't know that.
Yeah, of course they can.
Wow.
Yeah, it takes 18 months.
Really?
Really?
So
yeah, you're legally working. You have TPS. You got a work permit. Let them sponsor you.
How do you do that? I work for 5-star folks.
They file a
I
labor
work for 5-star.
Okay, they file. You would have to speak to HR, whoever your boss is. They would have to file a perm labor application for you, and they would have to prove that you're not taking a job away from an American worker, and run 2 ads in a newspaper, and then you would have to show that you have experience doing this job working for a different company. And then they would have to show proof that they could afford to pay you a salary, which they're already doing, so that's pretty self-evident. And then ultimately...
I've been working for them for 10, 11 years.
And then ultimately you would do a provisional waiver through your father, even though you are getting sponsored in a job. You'd go back to Haiti for about 10 days, get your green card, and come back 2 weeks, something like that. And the whole thing takes about 18 months. Yes, really.
So you say I should go to HR and ask those information?
Yes, or maybe have a consultation with me first, and then I can give you information to bring to them. If they want to sponsor you.
Do you have an office in Florida?
I do not, but I have a telephone in New York that speaks to Florida. So hold on 1 second. We could do
you
it
have
on
a
the phone.
telephone that I can...
Of course. Hold on 1 second. Let's go to Darlene in Port Charles, Florida. Darlene.
Hello?
Hello, Darlene.
Hi, Brad. My question is, my husband, he had a pending I-485 adjustment of status case, and he just recently got denied because we hit a rough patch, and I sent a letter in to withdraw my support.
Why'd you do that?
And,
you got angry at him? You got angry at him
Hello?
or something? You had a fight? You got angry with him?
Yeah, I thought he was cheating, but that turned out not to be the case.
Oh wow!
And
okay.
yeah,
you know what they say? That's they say that's like playing movies in your head. Like like you start playing movies in your head, you're thinking the worst thing. So you withdrew the case. You got to refile again now.
I have to refile. I shouldn't try to reopen it.
No, you can't reopen it. You
No?
withdrew it. You got to
Okay.
refile again. Now the good news, if there's any good news in all of this, is because you're going to refile now, and they're doing LIFO, last in, first out. Your husband's going to get a quick interview. You're not going to wait 2 years like you did last time.
So how many months?
I don't know how many months, but they're coming in like 6 months or less now.
Oh, okay.
All right, so hold on
6
one
to
second.
11 months, you said?
I said 6 months or so. That's what they're coming in right now. So hold on 1 second.
Oh, okay.
All right, hold on. Let's go to Donald in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Donald,
What's up, Brad?
how you doing?
Hey, yo.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
What's good? What's up, Kim?
Hey, Donald.
Is this
Hey,
Donald
woo-hoo.
Gordon?
Yes, sir.
It is! I had to think about who this is. Why are you saying hello to everybody? Like, all right, hi Donald, how are you? All right.
Yeah, you know I gotta call and hear my baby voice. You know that, right? Don't hate now. Don't hate.
No,
All right?
I'm not hating, brother. I ain't hating.
No, I'm just trying to fit in.
Let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Right when you started talking, I saw Kim go like this.
Yes, Kim's antennas went up a little bit.
I gotta go back and watch that to see what she did.
Yeah.
Yo is trying to, and Donald are trying to get me in trouble tonight at my house, and that's just not gonna stand for it.
For those who don't know, Donald's been watching a long time and making comments for a while, and he's wanted to go out with Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Are you calling Kim for a
Yes,
date,
sir.
or are you calling for an immigration question? Well, I don't know what you're doing.
But I ain't mad at her for not going to Jamaica with me though. It's all good.
I told you we come in a pair.
That's right. Yo chaperoning the whole thing until Kim says, "Hey, yo, get lost."
And that's fine because I know how to get drunk. Do my own
Right.
thing.
Once he's in Jamaica, he's in Jamaica.
All right, Donald, what can we do for you, my man?
Hey, I got a little suggestion for you, Brad.
Sure.
Hey, if you want to win this challenge, you know what you should do? Get your car, walk from home to work.
I have been doing that. I have been doing that, by the way.
You really?
Yes. As a matter of fact, yesterday I walked all the way from home to work.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
from Midtown,
good.
it's about an
That's good.
hour and 20-minute walk.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And I realized something. I didn't even tell you this story.
Right. I didn't know that.
So about halfway in my walk, as I got towards Washington Square Park, and I'm on Fifth Avenue walking straight down, about like Fifth Avenue and like 10th Street or something.
Right.
I get a telephone call. So I'm crossing the street and I stopped to answer the phone, and I stopped right in the bike lane. And this guy rides his bike right past me and literally punched me in the face because I was blocked. I got punched in the face by some guy.
Oh yeah, they are very aggressive.
They're very aggressive bikers. You can't stop in the bike lane.
Don't stop in the bike lane.
So and he goes, F you! And I go, F you! And I start to race after him. And then I'm like, what am I racing after him? He's on a bike. I'm not going to catch him.
Yeah.
So that was the end of it. I got hit in the face. So, you got to be very careful walking New York. Don't stop in a bike lane.
No,
I learned that.
That's just as
It's
bad as
totally
stopping
true,
in the car
totally
lane.
true.
That's true.
So anyway, yes, I do that, Donald.
That's a good suggestion.
All right, no problem.
Thank you, Donald. And
Donald,
by
you
the
buff
way,
or something? Like you work out?
Hey, y'all could look me up on Facebook. It's two Facebook.
do you know what Donald looks like? I never looked him up. I don't know what he looks like.
No, I have no
Maybe
idea.
he should be the next.
Yeah.
I don't know if he looks like.
It's a
I don't know if he looks like Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Or he looks like Urkel. I mean, what are we talking
I ain't
about?
there, but
Wait.
I have two though.
Yeah.
I have two. It's one with a white shirt. That's an old picture. I can't get in that no more. But I made a new one with a button-up shirt. Y'all could check me out.
All right, we got you.
All right. We're gonna check you out, and we're gonna see if we're okay on the date, Kim.
Is
Kim,
that what we're saying? I was just gonna say it because we want
Donald, I'm telling you, Yo-Yo's coming along.
No, absolutely.
He's absolutely coming along.
He can be the security. I ain't got
All right.
All right, bro.
All right, take care,
I'm gonna go back and watch the show.
All right.
Have a good one.
He's a good guy, Donald.
That's funny.
All right, let's go to Mitzi in Flemington, New Jersey. Mitzi.
Hello.
Hey, Mitzi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm trying to find out. I got married and I need to put in my I-90, my I-130. How long that will take me, and what must how I go about it?
Where's your spouse right now?
Pardon me?
Where is your spouse?
He moved from Florida, so he's living with me.
He's living with you. How did he come to the United States?
Yeah.
How?
I don't hear you.
How did he come to the United States? What happened to her? All right, she's going to have to call back. All right. I don't know what happened to her. All right, so let's go to Jacinda in Fresno. Jacinda. Let's go. What happened? All of a sudden, like we're getting
Right.
the gremlins.
Yeah.
Neil in Orlando. Neil.
Hey, Brad.
What's up?
Hey, Hey man. Greetings to you on the squad.
What?
I say greetings to you on the
Oh,
squad,
greetings,
Brad.
greetings. What's going on?
Yeah, let me get it off. Yeah, I was just calling to find out, we had filed that adjustment of status, and my wife, she got the letter for the interview, but we thought we would have gotten the work permit before.
Right, no, they're coming really fast now. The interviews are coming even before the work permits. Go on the interview.
Okay.
All right, go on it.
Yeah, so
Be
she
prepared
was
to prove
kind of
it's a
worried
real matter.
about that, but
No,
I'm
no,
telling
no,
her she
no.
shouldn't be, you know?
She shouldn't be worried. That's what's happening right now. Literally, the interviews are happening before the work permit.
Say that again?
The interviews are coming in before the work permit, believe it or not. Go on the interview. You
okay,
get approved.
okay.
You get your green card.
so
You don't need
it's
a work
normal.
permit. It shouldn't be normal, but at this moment, it's normal.
Okay.
All right? Nothing's normal in this day and age. That's the problem. Okay?
All right.
All right. But it's fine.
Appreciate it, man.
You're welcome. Let's go to Jacinda in Fresno. How long should we let Jacinda be like this?
Jacinda! Got
Jacinda.
All right. What do they say? You snooze, you lose, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately. All right, so we got to do something we like to call social media check-in.
Yeah, we do.
Do we have that? Social media check-in? All right, what do we got for social media check-in?
We've got our first question from Oyewole Queen, who said, what is the requirement for an H-1B?
4 requirements. 1, you have to have the equivalent of a bachelor's degree. 2, you have to be working in a job that relates to your degree. So, for example, if you want to be sponsored as a botanist, you better have a degree in botany. You know what a botanist is?
Yeah, plant person.
Plant person, correct. Number 3, your degree has to relate to your job offer on an H-1B. So it's a college degree, minimum requirements for the job. Your degree relates to that college education.
Right.
And you actually have the degree.
Right.
Minimum requirements for the job require a degree. You have the degree, and it relates. So, for example, I'll give you 2 examples.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a college degree in business. Okay. And you want to get sponsored as a secretary at Goldman Sachs. You don't need. You're working in a Wall Street firm, but you don't need a college degree to be a secretary. It's not the minimum requirements for the job. Let's take another thing. You want to work at Goldman Sachs and Wall Street, but your degree is in history. That has nothing to do with working in finance. You're not going to work
Be
there.
able to,
Correct.
got it.
And of course, you got to be paid the minimum wage, the average wage of similarly employed workers.
All right. Now, Sarah has a question saying, my employment-based green card interview is scheduled on June 10th, 2019. I already bought my plane ticket to go home on June 12th. Is it safe for me to travel after my green card interview using my EAD?
As long as you have advanced parole on it, yes, unless they deny you, and they shouldn't. Hopefully you get your green card. Either you're traveling on your green card or you're traveling on your advanced parole. You're not going to travel on your work permit unless it's the combo card.
Real New Moon said, I'd like to sincerely thank you for the good job that you're doing for the immigration community. God bless you.
I appreciate it.
Second, I did my biometric the 2nd of January 2019 and have not yet received my EAD. My case status has not changed from what it was since January, but I want to know if it's normal or am I out of the normal waiting time?
It's about 5.5 months for a work permit. It should be 90 days, but under Donald Trump, nothing's normal.
All right. Salman has a question saying, I'm a U.S. citizen. I do receive Social Security disability, and I want to sponsor my wife. Is it possible to bring my wife in to the United States?
On Social Security disability, yes. And I cannot believe, I'm just looking at the comments, First Lady Hewitt. Do you know what she's...
What'd she say?
She says, oh my God, my son wants me to sing and dance Baby Shark.
Oh, Lord. You were just talking about that right before the show.
God.
She started singing it,
I
and
did.
Brad got mad because
did.
this was stuck in his head 2 weeks ago.
Correct. And I said, stop it. And Kim says, baby shark, da, 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 baby shark. And then Jonathan came in with the father, dirty shark. And I'm like, stop, you're driving me crazy.
Listen.
Here comes First Lady here.
Yeah, right. It's like deja vu again here.
That's crazy.
This is exactly what happened. I was forced to listen to it yesterday on my walk home. There was a man playing it to his baby. Therefore, I drag everyone down with me.
Thank you very
Misery
much.
loves company.
Yes. All right, let's continue. My shark friends over there. Yes.
We've got Marcy Allen, who said, you're in the USA on a visitor's visa, but your boyfriend, who's a citizen, wants you to stay and marry him. How long do I have to stay in the country before I marry him? And will there be any implications if I stay before I marry him? Also, I have a B1 visitor's visa and I'm presently on vacation. Someone said it's important for me to download and fill out the I-94. Why is that important as well?
We all know the answer already.
We know
right?
all the answers.
We know all these answers, right?
I know most of those answers,
right.
yeah.
You got to wait 90 days. So you came to visit. Your intention is visiting. If you get married within your first 90 days, the government's going to say you lied at the airport. You said you were coming to visit, and it was obviously your intention to get married. So number one, you must wait 90 days. After 90 days, you can get married, and then you can adjust your status. Why do you need to download your I-94? You don't. You just need proof that you made a legal entry into the United States. Your visa and the stamp in your passport is more than enough. But wait 90 days, then file your adjustment. And after you file your adjustment, the interviews are coming probably in 6 months. So it'll be about 9 months you're here before you get your green card.
All right. Jal saying...
Jal? What?
I
What's
guess
so funny?
that's how... Because I asked her how to say it, and she was like...
Jal.
Yeah, so, but then she
Why is that
typed
funny?
Jason. I look at her like...
It's spelled J-C-H-A-H-A-L.
How would you say that? Shahal?
J-C-A?
J-C-H-A-H-A-L.
Challah.
Is it?
No, that's like the bread. That's C-H-A-L-L-A-H.
Isn't that how you...
J-C-H-A-L-L-A-H.
A-H-A-L.
Jechala. Jechala.
Jechala.
Jechala.
Right.
Jechala.
Jechala.
Okay.
Yes.
She said Jason.
Jason.
Why don't you just say my main man Jay?
Right.
It's JC actually. Okay. All right. So please provide information about intra-country adoption of a relative. None of the parents are alive, and a U.S. citizen uncle is only a family for a relative child, and already have the adoption deed for the child. What's the procedure to bring her here?
Well, you have to go through a pre-adoption here in the United States and do a new adoption here because the adoption in the other country is not going to do it. So you have to go to your local court, do a pre-adoption, get a pre-adoption certificate, then file the I-600 to bring over the child that you want to adopt. You also need permission from the country that you are adopting the child, that child can leave in your custody. You can't go to a country and just kidnap children. So you're going to need something from that country as well, depending on what country you're from. We do this all the time here at Spar and Bernstein.
Tommy says, if I overstayed my B2 visa for 3 months and then filed and traveled internationally with advanced parole, if at a port of entry they don't want to parole me in, what can I say or do? I'm married to a U.S. citizen.
A, they'll parole you in, but on the 1 in a billion they don't, you demand to see an immigration judge.
And quick follow-up, Jalal's last name is actually Jatinder Chahal.
Oh, okay.
Now we know.
Okay. So
Thanks,
he's probably from
Jatinder.
India.
Much,
Probably from India.
Yeah.
All right.
Much appreciated. I knew it wasn't
Yes.
Jason.
Yes.
Right. All right, Tracy says, if work authorization expired in over the 180 days for renewal, is there a chance of renewal if applied for? If they're still pending AOS?
Yes, you can renew your work permit if you have a pending adjustment of status. Absolutely.
Tally said, if your current joint sponsor withdraws, can you bring another affidavit from a new sponsor straight to the immigration interview?
Yes.
Anita Martinez saying, applied for a VAWA January 18. Maybe, I don't know if it's 2018 or January 18th. But how long will this process take? I was married with a U.S. citizen. My record is clean, or when can I file for a mandamus? And do I have to pay for a mandamus?
You have to pay a lawyer for a mandamus. It's going to take at least 18 to 24 months. You got to wait for VAWA to be extended past September 30th before you even think of mandamus. And number two, you should wait at least 12, 15 months before you also think of mandamus. But right now, if you do nothing, it's 18 to 24 months.
Okay, so...
She can give us a call at the end of the year.
If this was January last year?
She can give us a call at the end of the year.
Okay.
Ismaila said, after my marriage, I've submitted my adjustment of status 7 months ago and still have not received a biometric appointment. What's my next step?
You have a problem with your case. Give me a call. The next step is call Brad.
Luletta Brown says, hey Brad, my husband did my filing, my full package in October 26th of 2018. Now I see on USCIS processing time is October 2018. Does that mean that they reach the 26th, my status will change when they reach the 26th?
No, it means that they'll schedule you for an interview.
Okay.
Or a work permit. I'm not sure what she's reading in terms of. Just means that they're not changing your status at that point. What they're doing is they've reached your application to review it and do whatever needs to happen.
Okay. So it's a follow-up. I don't understand their thing. They reach October 14, 2018 in their processing time.
Right. That means people who filed an application on October 14th, there is a human being at immigration looking at it now. That's what it means. Okay. Before that, nobody looked at it.
Mesa said, I applied for a VAWA application on November 9th and I still have not received anything. I'm really worried about it. And when I call them, they keep telling me they can't help me. So what do you think I need to do?
You need a lawyer who's going to help you. If you didn't get anything since October, there's a problem. If you have a receipt notice, then you don't have a problem. If you didn't file an adjustment with the VAWA, then you should have. Then you got a problem again because you should have got a work permit.
All right, Copper Clan says, hey team, I sent my application to my EAD renewed, but it was sent back along with the fee. I attached with the application as checked. They sent me the letter saying they will help for 180 days extension. Why is this?
It means you screwed up the application, so you got to fix whatever the problem is.
Kahai said, if my case is in Lee Summit, Missouri, why do I need to write to the Vermont Service Center for information? Would you have any idea?
Nope, you would write Lee Summit, Missouri.
Mike, Lord.
Are you having an issue?
Are you undressing?
My mic
You
fell off. Y'all didn't tell me my mic was down here the whole time.
Why was your mic down there the whole time?
I feel like somebody's...
We just caught it.
First,
y'all could hear me though? Y'all heard me earlier?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
Right.
Oh, y'all heard it fall? I feel like somebody might be thinking about my shirt undressing. Maybe
I feel like
that's
First Lady Hewitt has some Jonathan voodoo doll at her house.
Can you imagine?
Slowly undressing him.
Can you imagine she's got a voodoo doll and she's singing Baby Shark?
How's my shirt unbuttoned?
Voodoo doll in one hand, Baby Shark in the other.
All right, let's continue. We got to help you. Let's continue.
You did the Kai?
Yes.
Okay, Ron Adams says, my sister's on a K-1 visa now. She broke up with her fiance. Can she marry someone else? What are the repercussions?
On a fiance visa?
Yeah, she was on a K-1
Did she marry
visa.
the man?
She broke up with her fiance, so no.
Okay, so the repercussions are you can marry someone else, but she's going to need a provisional waiver, go home, and then they're going to question her on the validity of both relationships. Did she really enter to marry this man? Because she never did. So what is the validity of that relationship? Was there any fraud there? And then the second marriage, she's really going to need help of a lawyer.
Will a U.S. citizen's spouse lose SSI if they petition for their immigrant spouse? Anne-Marie wants to know.
No, they will not.
Giovanna Plummer says, can a U.S. citizen be deported?
No, they cannot.
Mukhtar said, my friend came in with another person's document and name. Now he's met a U.S. citizen and he's about to get married. He once had TPS and went out of the country and then came back. Any chances he's actually going to get a green card?
Yeah, he's going to file an adjustment, but he's going to need a waiver for the fraud.
Alan says, I have a Social Security card, which I got when I was in college when I applied for the OPT. The OPT has expired about 2 years now. Anyways, I found a job. They gave me a W-4 and an I-9 form to fill out. Should I fill them out knowing I'm out of status?
No, because you are committing fraud by saying you're entitled to a benefit, which is a job, by filing the I-9 when you're not. And that is punishable by jail. And if you make a false claim to citizenship, you're never going to get a green card for the rest of your life.
So what should he do now?
Go find another job that's not requiring an I-9.
Dang.
Also, maybe
it's unfortunate what you have to do these days.
Sheesh.
Also, make sure to find you an attorney that tells you those things before you start filling out
Man.
things, and it's fraud, y'all. Tommy wants to know. Has a follow-up question about not being let back in at a port of entry when he has advanced parole. What are some of the reasons they wouldn't parole you back in if you have advanced parole? Anything specific, Brad?
You're a terrorist, Tommy. You're a criminal. You have a criminal record. You have some communicable disease that's going to spread like wildfire across the United States of America. You committed fraud that they know about at the airport. They find cocaine in your luggage, you know.
Jeez.
I mean, all the bad reasons, you know. Think of everything bad you could do at the airport.
Right.
And that would be a reason why they won't let you in.
So don't
if you've otherwise been a good person, you don't have a criminal record, and you're in a good relationship, there's no reason not to let you in. You know, obviously you can't stay out on advanced parole forever. So actually one of the reasons that they may not let you in is if you stay out for 6, 8, 9 months. So my advice is don't stay out for more than 2 weeks.
All right, Larry Williams has a question for our last one for now. I want to ask, my serving military citizen brother can file green card of his grandmother.
Serving military brother can file for grandma?
Yeah, so
Citizen
his,
brother,
So his
yeah.
brother, who's a serving military citizen,
No,
can
you
he
cannot,
file
you
for the
can't
grandmother?
file, no, whether you're in the military or not, you can't file for grandma.
So how can they get grandma here?
That he can file for his mother or father. His mother or father would show up, wait 5 years, and then become a citizen, then file for grandma.
Wow.
But you can only go one generation up the ladder. One generation up the
Oh
ladder.
man. How about if the parents are passed? I'm not saying
Then
that that's
grandma has to find a new way.
another way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Start introducing grandma to some men.
Hey, listen,
Come on, grandma.
everybody needs
It's
love.
never too late.
It's never too late.
Never too late to
That's
fall
true.
in love.
This is true.
Right. So we're going to come back and finish your social media questions in our speed round in about 10 minutes. So if I didn't get to your immigration questions, I will very, very shortly in about 10 minutes. One thing I do have to remind everybody that you can follow me on my Instagram account at Real Brad Bernstein. You can also follow our Brad Show Live on Instagram at Brad Show Live. You can follow Belgium Kim at
Belgium Kim.
That's it.
You can follow her at Belgium Kim. That's
Right, and
exactly
you can
where you're
follow
gonna follow
Yo-Yo
her.
Elias.
And you can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV.
And meanwhile, I had a chance. People may remember Enrique Morones. He is the founder and executive director of Border Angels. It's an all-volunteer nonprofit organization that advocates for human rights and humane immigration reform, particularly regarding the U.S.-Mexican border issues. Now, Enrique is one of the go-to experts regarding immigration in America. He's been on our show before, and he spoke with me again recently to give an update on what's going on presently at the Southern U.S. border. Let's watch. Enrique Morones is the founder and executive director of Border Angels, an all-volunteer nonprofit organization that advocates for human rights, humane immigration reform, and social justice with a focus on issues related to the U.S.-Mexican border. Enrique has dedicated his life to the prevention of thousands of migrant deaths that happen on the U.S.-Mexican border. He is the go-to expert whenever a major immigration issue faces America. We have been lucky enough to have Enrique on our show twice before, and he joins me again today to give us a first-hand account of the current situation at the U.S.-Mexican border. Enrique, thanks for coming on again. I really appreciate your time.
Brad, glad to be with you once again.
Can you just tell us a little bit of background about you and your organization for the viewers that haven't seen your interviews on my show previously?
Sure. So Border Angels is a faith-based human rights organization, nonprofit. I started it back in 1986. our mission statement says, if I was hungry, did you give me to eat? If I was thirsty, did you give me to drink? And the main thing that we do is promote the fact that love is an action, not just a word. We put water in the desert so migrants don't die when they're crossing. We visit migrants that are in Tijuana or in northern Mexico that are seeking refuge from their home countries in Central America. We visit day laborers, people that are standing around looking for work like they do all over the world. And we have a shelter in Tijuana. We're trying to raise funds for it to triple the size so more people can be accommodated. And we also have legal services where we have volunteer immigration attorneys that come and we give them free advice. So we've been around for a long time. We're 5,000 volunteers strong. And right now, more than ever, it's important that people step up, not be silent because of everything that is taking place coming from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, which is not good. Yeah, we know that the people crossing borders are simply looking for a better life. And so we're here to help them in any way that we possibly can to make sure that they're secure, that they know that people love them, and that we want to give them a welcoming spirit.
Now, you were born in San Diego. You're a born U.S. citizen, but you have been crossing back and forth the border of Mexico for years and years and years and years. Can you give me a little sense of how it's changed, how the border has changed, how the process of coming through the border has changed, how people are coming through the border with and without inspection has changed over the years?
Sure. So as you said, I was born in San Diego. My older brother and sister, parents were born in Mexico. I am a U.S. citizen. I have dual nationality. I have gone back and forth to that border, through that border, literally thousands of times. And it hasn't been until the last few months where things have dramatically changed. Just the other day when I was crossing through Customs and Border Patrol, I have my U.S. passport. They know who I am. They started questioning me about if I had taken pictures of the caravan, if I had taken video of the caravan. So I said, what caravan are you talking about? There's caravans all over the world.
Right.
And they started questioning me, and they knew that I was going to be firm about the fact that human rights and helping people is something that we're going to continue to do. So they let me through. They let me through. I was only detained for a few minutes. But there's been 4 border angels, also born in the United States, that were detained for 5 hours, 6 hours, interrogated. They took their phones away from them. They wanted to see pictures. And they were asking them, do you recognize these people? Do you know what's going on with these people? And our people were saying, hey, listen, we're doing human rights work, and maybe there's some people that we recognize in some of those pictures, but we have not seen any criminal activity. We do not endorse any criminal activity. And so that's something that never used to happen before, nor when we go out and put water in the desert, which we still do, did we find as many water bottles slashed as we do now. A few years ago, we'd go out there and put water. We've been doing that for 20 years. Now we're finding water bottles that are slashed in areas where only the border angels, the migrants, and the border patrol are at. And I assure you, the migrants and the border angels are not slashing the water bottles. We suspect the same thing that happened in Arizona with No More Deaths, where they videotaped border patrol slashing water bottles. We suspect the same thing is going on here, because in the San Diego sector, the border patrol, especially the head of the border patrol, is out of control, and we have asked the U.S. attorney to force his resignation.
So,
they cannot be putting their arms through the wall, shooting kids with tear gas. They cannot be walking migrants back to the wall, forcing them to jump back over. That's against international law, and we're not going to tolerate it. We're going to speak out about it.
Is there an actual lawsuit going on right now from your organization or others?
We're in the process of it. I went and met with the U.S. Attorney in San Diego, Robert Brewer. I had the Border Patrol Chief sitting right there, Rodney Scott. I called him out for all his illegal behavior, his lies and racism. Of course, he was very upset, and he said, do you have proof? And I go, absolutely. Here's videotape of Border Patrol agents tear gassing into Mexico. Here's videotape of a family being walked back to the wall, being forced to jump over. It's unbelievable that Rodney Scott, the Border Patrol Chief, his social media is making all these crazy, strong statements. And then he says, well, at least we have a president that cares about the border. And I said, do you believe that President Obama or Bush or Clinton didn't care about the border? And these statements against President Obama are unwelcome. People are entitled to their own opinion, but not their own facts. And when you're in a leadership position like this, the Border Patrol Chief of San Diego, you need to stay within your lane. You should not be expressing these types of opinions, because he has shared opinions to his staff. He admitted it, criticizing me. And I go, maybe that's the reason the Border Patrol agents are stopping our student groups sometimes, or the water bottles are being slashed. That is unacceptable, and we're going to rise up, speak up, and continue with our humanitarian work.
Is this a crisis that's being made because there's so many people coming at this point in time that what President Trump is saying, the numbers of people coming to the border now and trying to get through on the border are at crisis levels, or is this more a crisis that's self-made by what President Trump is doing?
Well, I gotta admit, there is a national, actually international crisis, but that crisis is at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. There is no crisis along the border. Undocumented migration is at a 40-year low. What Trump is doing is he's showing these caravans, which are people coming in family units, unlike a decade ago when it was mainly Mexican males coming to look for work, feed their families, raise money, and go back home. Now you have these family units that are coming predominantly from Central America, escaping hunger or violence, an international right. The numbers are really low. And the ones that are trying to get in line for asylum, Trump is making it almost impossible. And it is just, we're so furious about the way that he's handling this issue because he's spreading a lot of lies. He's spreading a lot of hate. And hate words lead to hate actions. That's why you see a rise in hate crime. You see our brethren, whether it's a temple or synagogue in Pittsburgh or it's a school in Florida, all these shootings that are taking place, it is not by chance. It is because hate words lead to hate actions. And what Donald Trump is doing is he's spreading hate. Before it was us, the Mexicans, or now the Central Americans that were crossing, trying to have a better life, it was the Irish, it was the Italians, it was the Germans. But when they came, there was no illegal way to come. They just come. The people that are coming today, for the most part, there's no legal way to come. And U.S. policies greatly influence that migration, whether it's the U.S. demand for the illegal drugs, whether it's the U.S. interference in politics in Central America or in the Middle East, that causes people to flee. And the United States is nowhere close to the top when it comes to welcoming migrants, but it is number one in being responsible for why those migrants leave. There's two countries responsible why these refugees and migrants are leaving. The home country where they're coming from, and the United States because of their policies. The United States should be a more welcoming nation, and it's not. Most people in the United States, like most people in Iraq or China or Mexico, are good people, are loving people. But there's always that exception, those groups that are not loving people, but rarely is that person at the head of government like what's taking place here in the United States.
You said that the Border Patrol agents are literally shooting across the border into Mexico, guns, tear gas. Has anybody been killed on the Mexican side by what U.S. Border Patrol is doing?
Oh, yes. There's been killings of Border Patrol agents shooting into Mexico. Ezequiel Hernandez in 1997 was killed. And he was a shepherd boy that happened to be a U.S. citizen on the Mexican side, simply tending his sheep, literally a shepherd, 17 years old. And he was killed when there was bullets flying across the border. It was actually by the military, and this 17-year-old young man was killed. But as far as Border Patrol shooting across the border, Sergio Hernandez was killed in Chihuahua, Mexico, which is right across the street from El Paso and Ciudad Juarez, another teenage boy, and they come up with we were being threatened and so on and so forth. There's been several shootings. The ones I'm talking about now, that still goes on, by the way. The one I'm talking about now is tear gassing into Mexico. And when I was in that meeting with Rodney Scott and Bob Brewer, Rodney Scott, the Border Patrol chief, said, it's legal to shoot into Mexico if you feel threatened. I go, I don't think so. So I went to the Mexican consulate in San Diego the very next day, and they said they cannot shoot into Mexico. And when I showed the videotape, the family that we had on videotape being tear gas was not throwing rocks. They were on the beach. There's only sand.
I would assume that if Mexican troops started shooting into Texas and California, there would be a huge uproar. What is Mexico doing, if anything, to prevent the United States from shooting into Mexico?
There's some of that. The Mexican government is looking into it, and I say don't look into it. It's already happened. One of the things that I've recommended, and they're looking into doing this, is having the Mexican government have cameras on the Mexican side so that there's proof. Because it's too easy to deny it. It never happened. Even though there is proof because television cameras have filmed it. I also brought up the fact that the U.S. Border Patrol and Customs and Border Patrol helicopters are flying into Mexican territory, again, against the law. And I said, we need to speak out against this. You're absolutely right. If it was the other direction, you would be hearing it all over the news. It's unbelievable this is taking place. Well, it's taking place right now. But it's the San Diego Border Patrol going into Mexico, shooting into Mexico, tear gassing kids. And what Rodney said was, they were throwing rocks at us. And I go, well, right here in the video, it shows that you were tear gassing kids and women, the Border Patrol agents were. And then some of the people started throwing rocks. I don't condone the rock throwing, but if you're tear gassing my child and my wife, I might pick up something and say, hey, knock it off. This is unbelievable. It's something that we got to stand up to and say it's not acceptable. So we're working with other organizations, including attorney groups like the ACLU, to look at this evidence, to say we need to have this Border Patrol agent removed, Rodney Scott, and the Mexican government needs to step up to the plate and make more noise about this. It is not right. It's against international law. It's against the sovereignty of one's country. And the only time I know of an invasion was when the United States invaded Mexico in 1846 and stole half the territory, including where I'm sitting right now, California. What's happening right now is really happening. The Border Patrol in San Diego is out of control. We need to put an end to that.
All right, so Enrique Morones is a very smart guy, and we're going to hear more from him tomorrow about what's going on the border. I really like talking to him because he really knows. He knows what's going on, and he's talking some sense. All right, Jonathan and Belgium Kim. We have 35 immigration questions.
We're stretching, but 35. We're not prepping for any kind of world record situation done by the G word.
Right, gonna get my neck all ready. 35 in 9 minutes.
Right.
Wow, I just did that. I made myself dizzy.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Sheesh. I'm better off just sit still and just whip them out.
Yep.
All right, ready. Put 9 minutes on the clock. We have 9 minutes on the clock. I'm going to be looking straight at the clock so I know exactly what we are.
Okay.
And we need to eventually get a counter.
Yeah.
We don't have a counter.
Oh, yeah.
It's true.
We need a counter.
A counter.
Okay, if anybody says.
We got the Brad Squad counter.
Brad Squad's counting in the meantime. Perfect. All right, you ready?
Ready.
Go.
Kershid, Brad, I filed an I-485, an I-130, an I-131, and an I-765. It's been 175 days, and I haven't gotten anything. Online status says it's ready to be scheduled for May 2nd, and it changed the interview to interview was scheduled on May 2nd. We'll send something in the mail, but nothing yet. What should I do?
They're screwing with you. Get a good lawyer, file a mandamus, and sit on your hands and be frustrated.
Bent, I applied for a removal condition of my green card in November 2018. I have not yet received the receipt notice. I was wondering if it's all right to wait for the receipt notice this long, which is my case 5 months
No, you should have gotten it a month after you filed. You have a problem.
I also have the 1551 stamp on my Somali passport. May you kindly advise to let me know if it's safe to travel back home 2 months since I'm waiting for my I-751 approval.
If you have the stamp, you can travel.
We've got a question from Dali Shahid, who said if someone has a 2-year green card and renews it and gets an 18-month extension, is that possible?
Yes.
Jatinder says, wants to bring adopted nephew from India. Both parents died. I'm the only family. What's the best way to do it? I'm a citizen here from California.
Petition. We talked about it before.
Prince Awuli said, how long will it take to get your new green card in the mail if after you do the biometrics or the first filing day?
After they approve your green card, you do the biometrics, about 8 to 12 weeks.
Bella says, got my I-797 from USCIS. They sent me the case to NVC. How long do I have to wait to hear from NVC?
I don't know what your priority date is. I don't know who's
USCIS sent my case on the 1st of March 2019.
I don't know what your priority date is. I don't know who's sponsoring you.
We've got a question from...
Zachary says, hi, does the petitioner overseas need the original documents from sponsor to present to consular or just copies?
Original.
Vivian says, I had an I-45 interview last month. The case has been held for review. Last week, I received a G56 call-in notice with the reason for appointment is stated signature needed. What does this mean?
They need your signature.
Sheikh says, we get approval from my dad on March 18, 2019, and the petitioner is my mom, and after that today, we didn't get any response from NVC. I emailed them, but didn't get a reply back.
First of all, NVC, National Visa Center, is never replying to anybody anymore. It's all done online on the CEC, whatever, and they're converting everything over, so don't expect to hear anything from the National Visa Center. Again, I don't know I don't know what your priority date is, so I can't tell you. I need to know a priority date and what your category is.
Juke says, I attended my interview with my spouse last month, but unfortunately my application was rejected because my spouse decided to withdraw it as he was always abusive to me so many times.
We spoke to her on the phone. I said refile.
Gary says, my father is a U.S. citizen. He filed for me in 2012. I'm over 21. How long will it take?
7 years.
Laddie said, my affidavit of support is wondering how much money do they have to earn for the year because I think he's not making enough.
125% above the poverty level for a family of 2 is 20 people, add $4,000 for each additional person that's a dependent on their tax return or that's in your family.
Ken Kibbett says, wanting clarity about a follow-up question about taking my spouse to family court for the kids after filing the vouchers. If she plays the victim in abuse in court and says all the nasty things she says to get back at me, how will the court handle this, or the judge, especially for me being a guy and immigration? Just give me a scenario.
Immigration status has nothing to do with it. The nasty things your wife may or may not say has nothing to do with it. It's going to be what's in the best interest of the child.
We've got a question from Pretty Mon Love, who said, is it possible to get an EAD without filing the I-765 in the VAWA case?
No.
I2D.
You need an I-765. That's the application for the work permit.
I2D saying, asking for a friend. Work permit expires on 12/9/2019. Adjustment is pending with priority date 6/14. When can I send in the renewal application if we don't get the interview by the priority date?
About 4 months before.
I've got a question from Latoya, who said, my son's visa petition has been approved, but there's a gender error on the submitted birth paper. How can I get it corrected?
You have to go to the vital statistics of your country and correct the birth certificate.
Victor says, I would like to invite my mom to attend baptism from Africa. What does she need to have, or which visa do I need to apply for her?
Tourist visa. You're not applying for it. Your mother is, and she has to prove that she's returning home to her home country at the end of the baptism.
Isha says, my spouse is a U.S. citizen but has already petitioned for me but wants to go in for a senior aid housing. Can that affect my filing?
It could affect it if it's government-assisted housing.
Ma 4664 said, I applied for AOS through marriage to U.S. citizen. Can I give my biometrics in any state or where I gave the mailing address? Also,
mailing address.
Okay, what is the EAD timeline if I file from Houston, Texas?
5.5 months.
Can I also do any ODD job?
You can do any job you want. It's not going to affect you getting
while
getting
it's
your
pending?
green card. You can work out of status to your heart's content. You will get a green card if you're married to a U.S. citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Ma said, I applied for my AOS through Sorry. Isakor said, I had an interview about 2 months ago and the officer said everything looks good and that I should expect the green card in 3 weeks. I was surprised that we got a letter for a second interview. What would have happened?
It means they don't believe it's a real marriage.
Aquila says, I have suspended license due to unpaid ticket. Is it going to affect my I-485?
Yes, it does. It's moral character issues.
Blama said, I'm asking for a friend. Can a grandfather who's an LPR adopt a grandchild who's abandoned by the parents?
Yes.
Anna Kay says, how long after filing a mandamus does it take the court to respond?
Weeks. Days.
Sandra said, what's the best way to get a criminal record for someone else who got arrested in another state back in 2002?
You have to go do an FBI check on your fingerprints and figure out where the court is, and then contact the court and get the records.
Floyd says, I filed for my son as a green card holder. He was under 21 years old when I filed. How long will it take?
3 years.
Jensen said, is there a limit on how many times you can use advanced parole? Is it safe to use it a lot?
It's safe to use it a lot, multiple times. Just don't stay out for more than 2 weeks at a time.
Christine says, my petition was approved in 1998, but my lawyer didn't follow up.
I'm sure you can get your green card now if you have the petitioner who's willing to help still.
Laddie said, how many times can you use an affidavit of support?
Once.
Trokin says, can a naturalized citizen be deported?
No.
Nurik said, can I reopen deportation order after 5 years when my wife gets her green card?
Yes.
David said, I went in for a citizenship interview, but I got turned down to proof of child support, which I did take some paperwork about that when I went on the interview. I'm not on child support. My child...
Refile again and prove that you don't owe child support. That's the answer.
And finally, we've got Mesa.
Finally, we got 1 minute and 50 seconds to go.
We got finally. That's it. That's the last one.
Killing it, baby.
She filed. My friend filed an I-751. She put that she was separated from her spouse, but they were having problems, and now they're back together. So, oh man, I just lost it. So. Does she? Oh my God!
I'm glad we had 1 minute and 45 here.
It's a good thing, right? So does she have to reapply all over again?
Oh Lord!
Got some time here on my hands.
I know.
Keep stalling.
She have to reapply again.
Decisions.
Decisions. Well, what's her choices? She could reapply again.
Right.
Or she could wait around for the green card fairy to deliver a green card.
green card fairy is always very precipitous, as
Right,
everyone knows.
the green card fairy could show up. But I think the answer would be reapply again. I still got 50 seconds to go.
All right.
All right.
You know why?
Why?
I think because you kept on having Guinness books back.
That's right.
When Kim was talking ish.
That is right. 35
want your
on the dot.
Hopefully they're watching
We actually
today.
did it in 7 minutes.
We did.
Yeah, basically.
35 questions in 7 minutes is impressive.
Yes, that is.
Okay.
All right. So I read some of the comments of the day at the beginning, but hopefully there's some more comments of the day and something we like to call comments of the day.
Let's see if I can get this right.
Donna Spence said, Brad, you are so informative in politics and what you do best, immigration law. You're phenomenal.
Whoa.
Oh, thank you very much.
God.
Thank you. Thank you.
The love is going around.
Thank you. I am phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
I've never been called phenomenal. Never in anything that I've ever done.
Except immigration law.
Except immigration
Which
law.
we say you're phenomenal pretty frequently.
Yes.
Right.
The only time I'm phenomenal.
Boom.
There you go.
I've been told in other areas I'm pretty good, but I've never been told phenomenal.
No one else uses phenomenal in any other area?
No, I said I'm pretty good. That's about it. That's about the best I've gotten. But we'll save the rest of the story for tomorrow.
Right, yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yes.
I knew where that one was going. All right, our second comment of the day comes from Carol Anderson on Facebook saying, this show is the #1 best show on Facebook and YouTube. Oh yeah, love it too much.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
#1.
Now, if anybody notices that there's a trend in comments of the day, it's all compliments of us.
Right.
So if you want a comment of the day, compliment us.
compliment
Right?
Absolutely. That
pretty
trend's
easy.
going to keep going with
Yes.
Sandra Salinas because she thought that, Brad, you look very elegant, casual Brad Bernstein, looking fleek.
Ooh.
That's not the proper use of that word,
But it's
you know what
okay.
it means.
Us Gen Xers, that's how we use fleek.
right.
That's perfect.
Right.
on
Thank
fleek.
you.
You're on
Thank
fleek.
you. Thank you.
All right, another one comes from Angela Rawlings saying, I guarantee Brad will lose the weight on that remote island. No jerk chicken there. What remote island were we talking about?
I will be going away next week.
Go, yeah.
No, in Iceland.
Go to Greenland. Go to Greenland.
Greenland
Yes.
from the schmooze.
Yes, right.
You going to Greenland?
Yeah, because
No
I won't
jerk
have any
chicken.
money to buy dinner because I spent it all on the helicopter to get there.
That's a great point.
Right.
And finally, we've got Don, who may be coming in here with a new Brad Show Live tagline.
What?
Brad, you give hope to the hopeless.
Wow. Giving hope to the hopeless.
All right. Well, hopefully you have a little hope before you met me.
But if you don't, Brad will give
Give you
it.
some
Brad to
hope.
give it to you.
All right. Is that it?
Yes.
That's it. That's all we got.
You know what tomorrow is?
Hump day.
It's hump day tomorrow. That means Jonathan's going to come out. Not yet. Put that camel back in the cage until tomorrow.
He can't wait to
Don't
get
let
out.
that camel out of the cage yet. We'll see you all tomorrow. It's the Brad on Brad Standard Time, which is sometime a little after 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. See you tomorrow. So Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465.